Welcome back. We will now talk about budgeting. As you know, budgeting was introduced to the syllabus in 2010. Till then it was with the PO syllabus. There was quite a significant syllabus change in 2010. So budgeting is relatively new to P2 or PM exams. Last two examinations, if we check the trend, there were a couple of concepts under budgeting tested. One was participative budgeting, and the second one was the rolling budgets. The level of answers, especially in the rolling budgets area, were not up to good standard. So there may be a possibility that the examiner tests them again at the examination. So revise the rolling budgets again and try to understand how rolling budgets could improve the accuracy of forecasting. Let's quickly dip into rolling budgets to understand the logic. As you know, a budget is prepared for a fixed time period, maybe 12 months, but a rolling budget is different to a fixed budget. Think of a budget which is prepared for 12 months, and then from that budget 1 month is now gone. We have used 1 month of that budget. So we have only 11 months more visibility into the budget. Just think, now we have gone to the second month also. So 2 months gone. We have only 10 months visibility into the budget. So likewise, as we go into a budget practically month by month, week by week, we will lose the visibility for the remaining time period. The visibility is getting smaller and smaller. The logic of rolling budget is to add time to compensate to the end of the budget to what we have already utilized. Example, if you have a 12-month budget and 1 month have been taken off since we have utilized it, now we have 11 months more. We will add another month to the end of the budget to maintain the same 12 months visibility throughout. I have a small animation for you to understand rolling budgets. Let's look at this slide. Let's think of a situation where we have a budget for 12 months, which is indicated in this blue thick bar. Now we use 1 month of this budget. See, 1 month is now used. So what visibility we have to the future? Only 11 months more. In rolling budgets, what we do is we add another forecast towards the end of the budget. So now we have yet again 12-month visibility, and each month we use in the budget, we will be adding another month towards the end of the budget. Now this is a very simple concept, isn't it? So why there is such a fuss about testing this at the PM exam and students not answering right, and why the examiner is not very pleased with the quality of answering? That is because the students lack the application. The examiner is interested to know how rolling budgets would improve the forecasting. Of course, you will have 12 months visibility, or whatever the time period you select, the visibility of that time period. In addition to that, you may miss an important point at the exam. The rolling budget is not simply adding another time period towards the end of the budget. While you do that, you keep on revising the accuracy and the application of the existing period. Now you should not miss this at the examination. Example, now let's say you had a 12-month budget, 1 month is gone, 1 month is added, which is very simple, anyone can understand that. While you do that, the balance 11 months forecast, which was in the original budget, is revised, recalculated, rechecked against the latest environmental happening. So it's not only a simple process of adding another month, you do a check to your existing forecast as well. So we have a 12 months uninterrupted, accurate, up-to-date visibility in rolling budgets. It is important that you use similar words at the examination, if possible the same words. If you are recording this telecast, it would be good for you to make a note of these words. So you use the same words at the examination where the examiner would like to see. Rolling budgets, very important. Then another area the examiner may test you. If he does, it will be first of its kind, the beyond budgeting concept. Examiner has not tested this for a serious question before, the concept of beyond budgeting, but he has given a lot of prominence to the section beyond budgeting in the syllabus. Now what is beyond budgeting? And as this English word, two words explain, it takes you beyond the budgeting process. There was a conference called BBRT, Beyond Budgeting Round Table, where the top-notch companies in the world, Fortune 500 companies like Procter & Gamble, like Chevron, Texaco, like Apple, got together and discussed the shortcomings of traditional budgeting. And they shared the best practices of their companies, which took them beyond budgeting. So they discussed of unique opportunities where budgets could be used to motivate people and enhance their creativity. By doing budgets with them, we call it participative budgeting. And then when it comes to controlling, not to control it in this very traditional, robust variance analysis way, where we take the budgets and the actuals and we do calculate the negative or a positive variance. Positive variances are rewarded, negative variances are taken to as a measure to punish the employees. Not that way. If there is a negative variance in the budget, try to understand why. In hindsight, what went wrong, and then why couldn't the budget center heads achieve it, what help the company could have given them to do better. Likewise, it's a very, very participative budgeting process and a performance appraisal process. The budgets are not used as standard yards of measurement to understand whether the positive or negative variances are achieved. It's more used as a mechanism to see what strategies are required to do better as a team. So there are 12 principles discussed in beyond budgeting. Now what are these 12 principles? These 12 principles formed a summary of all the proposals these top companies suggested in the BBRT, the Beyond Budgeting Round Table. And there were hundreds of good suggestions which came through, and what this committee did was they took all these suggestions in and did a summary. We call it 6 good practices, process practices, and 6 good practices, leadership practices. First of all, how the leaders of this organization must behave in order to formulate the right culture to practice beyond budgeting concepts. 6 principles. So you must go through your study packs, or you can Google this and type BBRT, Beyond Budgeting Roundtables, and you will see this white paper in Google. So understand the 6 leadership principles, and then having harnessed that culture in the organization, what are the 6 process principles which takes budgeting to a different level. and then say, I'll give you one example. Now say if we do have a negative variance in the budget, we'll always look at the negative variance in hindsight and see what are the environmental aspects which cause the negative variance, which is beyond the control of the budget center head. A good example would be Greece. 6 months ago when we did budgets for a Greek company, we would not have seen this recession coming in and the financial crisis of Greece. Now what had happened was Greece has hit a financial crisis and everyone is going into a hibernation mode, and obviously the business would not grow. So most of the companies will now fall short of their budgets, which is not really due to the inefficiencies of the budget managers. It is more an environmental aspect. So you try to work as a team and see to what extent the environment caused this issue, and you try to neutralize the negative impact. Not only neutralize, you try to then understand how do we strategize to combat the environmental aspect. So it's more than a carrot and a stick, it's more a participative approach, not only to do the budgets, even to control the actual behavior against the budget. So likewise, there are 6 process principles in beyond budgeting. 6 leadership principles, 6 process principles. Before you go to the exam, you must read all 12 and see how it could be applied into a business organization in Sri Lanka and maybe in Europe, because you are taking a British exam. So it's a must read. Beyond budgeting could be tested for a 10-mark question, and they could ask a company practicing traditional budgeting, how should they change in order to adopt beyond budgeting concepts. So it is important for you to get ready for a question like that. It's better to be uncomfortable at home compiling an answer to such question than to be uncomfortable at the exam. So we'll take a short break and come back to discuss performance evaluation section in the syllabus.